You right.
Really makes you think.
That's what I'm
Are niggas
saying.
really industry plants?
Yeah, art. Yeah, and that's a good question. Like, I think Hello Yasin, if that's how you say his name correctly. Sorry if I didn't say it right, but he actually talked about that, and he was like, he really doesn't know if people like Mario Judah are actual industry plants because it's like masked so well. Like you can't tell. Like he did research on Mario Judah, and he's like, if it is an industry plant, it was
Can't
masked
go no
very
further.
well.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? You
yeah.
saw
I know
that.
what
You
you
saw
mean.
that. You saw that video, right? Where you talked about
Nah,
Mario Judah.
nah,
You
I
gotta
haven't.
you gotta watch it sometime. So it's like, are these people industry plants where they're like the label's kind of like, okay, you're gonna be a meme. We're gonna make you a persona, and this is what you're gonna do, or are niggas just actually dicking around and making a living, for themselves without a label. What's your opinion, 16?
I actually want to pass this to Morbid because I want to hear like some of her opinions on this because she's been a little silent on this.
So I'll re-ask the question, Morbid. Do you think that labels are now making artists do these types of personas and memes? Do you think it's all fake? It's all a fake persona made by a label? Morbid,
Yeah.
passing it over to you.
Sorry, I got a snack.
Oh,
Okay.
And
okay. Oh,
I didn't want to
Oh
interrupt what you
my
guys were
god.
talking about, so I just very quickly snuck away and I grabbed myself some tortilla chips.
Alrighty. So can you
So
answer the question?
it's just the general question, like, do memes
No,
like
I'm
ruin
saying,
artists?
do you know, like, do you think like music labels, such as a label for any artist, are actually making these people like do these types of personas? Do you think it's all fake at the end of the day, and that people are not digging around? It's all
Hmm.
it's all just made by an industry plant. You know?
I think it's I think it's true for most artists who are in what I like to call trendy music. So the music that is trending these days.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think most artists are heavily persuaded. They may not be, it may not totally be the producer or the company they work for taking control, but they are very heavily persuaded and pushed to do what the producers want them to do because the producers think they know what the people like. And they want to keep that artist, getting the views and everything. So they'll probably make them do some off the wall, ridiculous things.
Yeah, that definitely does make me wonder. Is Mario Judah actually, does he really act like that behind, like, when he's not in
Hmm.
front of people and he's behind closed doors? Maybe he's just some nigga from the street who they pulled up into the studio and they're like, you know what, we kind of like your beats. How about we
I
make
have
you
no
into this
doubt.
person? You don't think they did that?
I
I
heard
have no doubt.
from what I've heard from people who have interacted with him. They say he's like a real genuine dude and that he's really dope, like as a person. So I
I
mean,
think
Okay.
he's
Well,
and
smart as
I've
fuck,
heard,
and I think he knows what the fuck he's doing. I think
yeah,
he did that on his lonesome.
Okay.
because that
But
doesn't seem some. No.
let's talk about these other rappers. So, do you think there is a rapper like that where the industry did it to him, where it was
Lil
just a
Pump,
fake persona? Lil
I
Pump,
feel
okay.
like
Let's talk about Lil Pump. Okay.
Oh God.
Okay. So, what's your
I
opinion?
should know God.
Go ahead, Dark.
Oh, because
Alright,
it's like.
so
Oh, sorry.
cause
Go
what?
ahead.
Explain, Lakes, explain.
No, because it's like, like I don't like Little Pump. Like, I used to love
You
him
said
and I hated him in a year
Okay.
because
Well, I
he's
understand
yeah.
that.
yeah he's just
so I most definitely can't name a rapper because you guys know I don't listen to a whole lot of rap music. And the
Okay.
rap music I do listen to isn't a lot of this whole new shit. But there have been artists within the pop/hip hop community where their producers have very heavily pushed their influence, like Britney Spears.
Oh,
mm,
that you know
talk
what?
about
That's a
it.
good point. Keep going. Keep going.
So with Britney Spears, her producers have basically molded her to be a certain way. Um, Britney Spears is I don't remember how old she is. I think she's in her late 40s, I want to say. I could be wrong, but I want to say she's in her late 40s and is just now beginning to get like financial control of her life. Because when she had that breakdown when she was in her 20s, I do believe they like took all of her like financial control away, her personal control. Basically, she didn't have her own rights to herself,
Ooh.
Who?
Okay.
which can
What are we
which
talking
can
about?
get taken
Britney
away
Spears.
when
Britney Spears.
yeah, which can get taken away when your mental health is, deteriorated too far and it all goes to a guardian. And her guardian happened to be, I think it was, I want to say, I don't remember everything about it. I read all about it when it happened, but I want to say it was either her dad or her producer, one of the two, got guardianship over her and like controlled her entire life. Like she couldn't buy a car without letting them know. She couldn't, go do this, that, or the other without letting them know. Anything she wanted to buy, she'd check it over with her guardian first. She couldn't go visit places without checking her with her guardian first.
Hmm.
And
Thanks
then
them.
so
Go
far
ahead.
as to going into why she had this breakdown, because the producers that she worked for wanted her to be in that kind of that girly image that Britney Spears has, the high pitched voice and the dramatized kind of schoolgirlish features. They wanted that to be her permanently, so much so like her vocal cords are like damaged because of how high pitched she had to sing. And she'll like never be able to not sing that way.
Oh God, it's
Oh
awful.
my.
Damn, they fucked that
Wow.
woman up. Damn,
Wow.
that's
It,
You
stupid.
it's
actually stated a really good point. So
it,
basically,
it it's a whirlwind.
so there are artists, especially back in her time, because we're talking 2020, 2020, 2021 right now.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking like okay, back like 2002 all the way to 2010, Britney Spears.
Oh yeah,
So back
there's so
then,
many.
I feel like they could get away with a lot more, and they could control people
Mm-hmm.
more back then. Do y'all agree?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, of
definitely.
course.
Of course.
Because
I
I'm.
Another
mean,
good example, and this isn't so much as controlling their music, but controlling them as a person. One of my favorite bands, Linkin Park, lead singer Chester Bennington, he killed himself in 2014, I think. That sounds
Sounds
right.
about right.
sounds about
And he
right.
killed himself.
I
And
don't
there
know
was,
if it was 2014, but go ahead, go ahead.
I want to say it was, that sounds right, but there was a lot of controversy around his death actually being a murder over a suicide. Because Chester Bennington was unfortunately sex trafficked as a child because like his dad knew a big time Hollywood producer that sex trafficked him and somebody else that I can't remember whose name at the moment. It'll come to me in a second. But him and Chester Bennington were about to come out with a documentary about all of it, and then they mysteriously died.
Wow. Okay, I've read a little bit about the Lincoln Park situation.
And it took, and this happened like years ago, so it was his producers squashing him to not say anything, to not tell anybody. Meanwhile, Chester's still writing these songs and everything about what's been going on in his life. So a lot of people think there's like clues within his songs about what was going on, which could be true, and that's a whole other big conspiracy theory. But it goes like way deeper than just controlling people to be a meme or not.
Oh, okay, that was
Because
fairly interesting. Go ahead, 16.
I mean, I feel like she touched on a really important point because these labels have a lot of power. They basically own you if you shine a shitty deal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's that one girl's name? Krayshawn. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they she's basically like a modern day Vanilla Ice in the sense that every time her hit song is being played, she's like I think she said she's losing money or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
or she's like 80K in debt. No, $800,000 in debt. Like it was a ridiculous number that she has to pay back to Sony. I think.
It's ridiculous. Producers have a lot of power over their artists, which is why kind of it started to become a trend of musicians who don't have producers, who don't have those ties and connections to Hollywood working and making their own way up there.
You guys really do have a good point about that. And the question is how far do these labels go? You know,
Oh no, they don't
is it?
stop. They own you wholeheartedly. They will, or at least they're gonna try to.
I mean, if you
Look at
if you look at somebody like Michael Jackson,
or like Disney stars.
or even Disney stars, man, like they sign these contracts, and I'm sure in the contracts, like if you read them, because ain't nobody gonna read a fucking contract unless you're smart and actually want a good deal. I'm sure in the contract it's like we can control your assets, your money. You know, I'm sure
Um,
it says that somewhere. I'm sure it does.
it's not so much that they're not reading it because obviously they're gonna hire a lawyer. But here's the problem: a lot of the times, the lawyer that they would refer to you would also be working for the entity. So let's say you're an artist and you're going to sign to, let's say, Sony. Sony would and there would be a lawyer that someone would recommend to you, but guess what, that lawyer is on Sony's payroll, and it's a conflict of interest. But it's one of those, it's
Subtle.
such a gray area. Yeah, so they're
It's
gonna
so
work
subtle.
they're gonna work for you to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's why Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So what you're saying is that it's all a big like pyramid scheme almost. When you sign to a label, like you could get you might could hire a lawyer, but you still could get fucked over.
I mean, yeah, like even beyond just the labels, like even for like content creators like ourselves.
I'm sorry, Anthony. It doesn't have